Hey guys, welcome back to Creativity and Inspiration. If you're new, welcome. I'm so happy you found us. And if you've been coming back time after time, thank you so much. You know how important you are. Today we're in a little bit of a different place to start, and I'm here because we're going to talk about ideas for creating art for your space on a budget. Yes, I'm reading my card. So we're going to talk about ideas for creating art for your space on a budget. And I came in here to this wall because this is my take, what I like for a gallery wall. And gallery walls can be anything that you want them to be, that fit your aesthetic, that fit the space you're putting them in, that fit the style of your furniture, whatever. You can make a gallery wall anything you want. And you don't have to have a lot of art or photos to do it. And I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to do this. And then I'm also going to show you an easy way to create your own artwork too. So let's just jump in and get started. Now, as you can see behind me, again, I have my gallery wall here. They're all 5x7s, but they may not quite look it because the frames are all different. I have some frames that have like a scroll work around them. I have one round frame up there in the corner. So my frames are all 5x7s, but because they're different sizes and different colors, the eye doesn't see them as all 5x7s. Now all the pictures in the frames are black and white. So that's one way I made it cohesive while throwing in that twist of different colors and different shapes. And this is easy to do. These are pictures I printed myself. These are grandparents, great-grandparents, that sort of thing. Now, you may be looking at this going, I don't like that. That's not making me happy. And that's fine. Everybody's different. One way, if you wanted to make a gallery wall more uniform, would be to use either all the same size frames, all the same color, all the same frame basically, or to get the same frame but vary the sizes. Have like say 2 8x10s, 2 5x7s, and 2 4x6s. Or to really make it fun, you could have some frames but then throw in something with some texture and different shapes. Like you could throw in something like this round. These used to hold paper plates back in the day, and people would eat outside and put these on their lap. That's what these are, okay? But now we don't do that, so you could use these on the wall, okay? You could use those. You could have some vintage square trivets. You could use anything. If you notice, everything I'm pulling is natural elements, because right now putting natural elements on your wall is a big deal. But you could use trivets. You could use baskets. As long as they don't have a big, into your space, big profile into your space, or if they're on a wall that people don't walk by all the time, they're a great use, and you can get them in different shapes. So you could have a triangle and a circle and then your rectangular frames. It would just throw in, like I said, a little bit of something different, bring that natural element up onto your wall, bring some texture up onto your wall. Or you could not have any photographs at all, have a bunch of different baskets. You can even get shaped wall, rattan, like a butterfly. Have this with some round ones and then one pop of a rectangle or square. Just use your imagination and what you feel represents your space well. Another option would be take all of this down, put up a bunch of empty frames, and then maybe 1 or 2 blank canvases and hang those up. So that's another option for you right there, is to do empty frames and then throw up a couple of blank canvases, do empty frames and throw up something with more texture like baskets, trivets, or if you can find things like this. So those are all really great ways to create art on a budget for your space. Now, what if you like the frames, all the same frame but different sizes, but you don't have a lot of family members to put in them, or you don't want to put family members, or you want the frames to be uninteresting, but you want to add your pop of cool stuff with what's inside your frame. Well, what you could do is, again, I'm going to put up some frames here in the corner that are all the same. You can get different sizes in these, and I'll link them down below. I've actually bought some of these. They're great frames. Okay, so you could put those up, and inside them, instead of putting photographs, put scrapbook paper. Or get a piece of, your printer paper and just do watercolor all over it, or inks. Drop inks all over it and frame those. You could even make a framed collage in a way. Get a roll of that paper that I've showed you before, the white butcher block paper, cut it, just make crazy, abstract design on it with watercolor, acrylic paint, or paint a scene if you want to. And then measure out 8 by 10. Take your frame apart. They all come with that cardboard in them. Put those on your paper that you just painted and trace out the 8 by 10s. And say you're doing a mix of 2 8 by 10s, 2 5 by 7s, and 2 4 by 6s. Cut all those out, frame them, and then put all that up on your wall. That's another great way to get, really custom art for very little money. You're out the frames, and if you don't have the paper, and that's it. It wouldn't be, that would be probably under $40 for some great artwork for your wall. Now, let's go in there and I'll show you an easy way that you can create another type of artwork for your wall that doesn't cost you a lot of money either. So come on, let's go. It's this way. I know y'all haven't been out here. Okay, guys. For this last option to create art on a budget for your space, you could get 3 canvas, all the same size, and this works really good if they're kind of longer, but due to my setup, I went with these little short guys. But what I would suggest is getting ones at least like 12 inches, and they're just, I'll put a picture of them. Get something like that. That would be the best for this, and then decide what you want to do. I know a lot of people are into beige right now, which again is not me, but everybody to their own. Or they like monochromatic. If you want to do monochromatic, what you could do with your 3 that are all the same size and a little bigger than these is get some gesso or even wall putty that dries white and a stencil. And you can find larger stencils for walls, so you could use a larger stencil on the bigger canvas. And what you would want to do is on the canvas on your right hand side, that's going to be your right hand side on your wall, okay? And that's going to have the most on it. So you would come with your stencil. So the one on the right, what you would do is you would put your stencil and you would put it like a little more than half. Like you would have a quarter of the canvas blank, okay? And you would cover the rest with your stencil and your gesso. And then you would come to the next one and kind of put your... Okay. So when you're doing this and your canvas are all the same size, you're going to stagger them though. Because what you want to do is put your stencil on them where each canvas is covered less and less by the stencil. And the easiest way to make this right is to stagger your canvas to where as the stencil comes down, the amount covered on each one is getting less and less. So you've got like a lot there, and then so you would do this, and you would bring this down and just do that little part. So that's one way to do one, and that's monochromatic, or you could do it with color, whatever you wanted. The other way is what I'm going to show you now, and it's where on the right hand side we're going to do a flower in beige, And then these other two canvas, I'm going to stagger them, and I'm going to come in, and I'm telling you beforehand because this can get a little confusing. And I'm going to come in with my butterfly stencil, and I'm going to do part of my butterfly on the farthest one to the left. In the middle, I'll do a whole butterfly, and then my flower is going to be on the right-hand side. So I'm going to move these two out of the way. Those are the gesso or wall putty ones. And I'm just going to work with my paint right now. And my flower is not going to be the whole canvas. The point of doing these, and with today's aesthetic, is to leave a lot of white space. So I'm just going to have part of my flower coming off the side. And this is the side I turned it sideways because it's easier for me to paint that way. And I'm going to make sort of like a daisy type flower. And I'm going to put just a little bit of the center, just like that. And again, this is not my aesthetic at all. I love color. But everybody's different, and that's what I always say, and that's fine. And if you want to make them more round, just go back in and round them a bit. And I like round petals, so I'm going to make them a little more rounded, but not a lot. And I would normally draw this out, but I want it more freehand. Let's make it a little bigger. And remember, if you mess up, just put gesso over it and start again. That's fine. Nobody is perfect the first time or all the time. Okay. Okay, there you go. And that's our flower. And then I'm gonna come in with the third canvas now, which is the one farthest from our flower. There's our flower. I come in with this canvas and put my butterfly just kind of part ways on, like halfway. And I love this gesso. It's U.S. Art Supply. This is the easiest gesso in the world to work with. I had Liquid Texas, and it was just, it dried out, and this stuff is just great. It doesn't dry out very much. And I'm just going to probably use what's on my lid here. And you want to start a little bit with the gesso. You don't want to get too much because it makes a mess. I'm going to hold my stencil and come in and just spread it over. And I'm going to get it on, oops. I want on the little antenna. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull it off and let it dry. And if you get bubbles like that, just go in and pop them. Now we're gonna go in with our canvas that's gonna be in the middle, and we're gonna use the same butterfly, and we're gonna put in about right there. And then we're just gonna spread it around. Now this is kind of liquidy, so just be aware. Oh, I moved it. And there's our whole butterfly. So I'm gonna move, 1 second, guys, let me Okay, guys. And there is your 3 artworks you can create, only with bigger canvas, but you get the idea that that's how it should look. Okay, you can even hang them a little off if you want to. It just, whatever you like. I kind of always hang my stuff a little off. That way, if it's not straight, nobody notices. But anyway. So that's an option. You could paint them all beige and then do stencils with a pattern, again, with any pattern you want to after you paint them all beige. Just up to you. Everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. But this is a simple, easy, budget-friendly way to get art up on your walls if you don't have a lot of money and you're not an artist that goes in and paints large canvases. All right, last thing, let me go get some scrapbook paper. Okay, some other options, like I said, scrapbook paper and frames, different size frames. You just trace the, the cardboard that comes in the frame. On the back of the scrapbook paper, you can get coordinating, whatever you want, if you like words, something like this would be cute. Bathrooms, kitchens, kids' rooms, anything you want, you can make with scrapbook paper. But here's the deal. What if you're moving into a new place and you don't have any scrapbook paper and the budget's super tight? Well, this is a magazine from Dollar Tree that I'm using for that Dollar Tree Junk Journal Challenge. And you know what? I would frame some of these pictures. I would cut them down and frame them because the grass and the plants are pretty. Look how pretty. Look how pretty those are. You don't have to have the words. You could just use the plants. They're beautiful. This one. So when you're doing artwork for your space, it doesn't have to be traditional. It doesn't have to be photos. It can be whatever you want it to be and whatever you can afford. Now, what if you don't have any frames and you don't want to spend the money on frames? Go to Dollar Tree, get their 5x7 or 8x10 canvas, come home and decoupage some art, some paper, some wrapping paper, some magazine pages onto the canvas and make your wall out of that. There are so many options, guys, that you are truly only limited by your imagination. Hey guys, I hope you liked all these ideas for creating art for your space on a budget. I had a lot of fun doing it. I hope you had a lot of fun watching it. If you did, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget, hit that subscribe button with that little bell. Lots of cool videos coming up, and you don't want to miss out. I'll see you on Friday, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.